Welcome to yet another episode of me teaching these guys, Foods 20, how to do mini cheesecake. So here I am in my classroom kitchen. It's, I don't know, what day is it of the week? Wednesday? I've lost track of time. Things aren't good. All right. So basically what we're going to do today is chocolate cheesecake. It is said that the first cheesecake ever made was on the Greek island of Samos. Physical anthropologists excavated cheese molds. There were about a dozen dated back to 2000 BC. Whoa, people like cheesecake way back. So we're gonna be doing this cheesecake today. It's a chocolate cheesecake. So in that honor, I thought we would use a Oreo cookie crust. So each of you have a container of these Oreo cookie crumbs. Whenever you do an Oreo cookie crumb or a graham cracker crumb crust, you need to moisten, just moisten, not to the point of greasiness, but moisten your crumbs. So I believe it says we need about 30 mils of melted butter. We will come around and deliver that to you. You do not currently have that. So 30 mils is two tablespoons. Yeah, you're gonna need, use the whole thing. Because we're gonna actually be putting this into muffin liners. So I'm gonna just stir that in. You just press your fat in there. What? No. Can you not watch me? I want to educate you. The kids, they're so excited about chocolate cheesecake. So you see how they're moist, but they're still crumbly? They're not greasy. They shouldn't have a greasy sheen to them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm putting this in muffin liners because we're doing this individually and we will not be touching each other's tools or any other equipment. One person goes and the other person goes. And any pantry item that you touch must be disinfected, either the lid or the exterior out of the container has to be disinfected as well. But because we are doing this, and as long as we're not sharing any tools or touching any common things, we may consume this. So what I'm going to do, when you do this, I've prepared 3 muffin liners so that you don't have the horrible cleaning of your pan. And you're going to press these down if you can. So I might just divide this out and then use a rubber spatula to press the crumbs down into my pan. I'm gonna save some of these little crummy bits here, and I'm gonna sprinkle them on top of my cheesecake at the end. You know, a nice, okay. So I'm gonna press it down. You want anytime you're putting a crumb crust in a cake pan or a pie plate, you wanna make sure it's packed in, kind of like you pack brown sugar into the pan, and it's nice and firm inside the pan. Okay. Oh, my shoulder. And then it's basically, I've got them prepared. They're so beautiful, packed in. Wonderful. Pans are prepped, bases are in. I love me a graham cracker crust. For the fall season, do you know what's amazing to use as a pie crust for like pumpkin pie or pumpkin tart? Those little, you know those thin cookies that they have at IKEA that are like a ginger flavor? They're called like Annie's cookies or something. If you crush those up and use those as like a gingery base, oh man. You know what else is good? Nature Valley granola bars. Those crunchy ones where it has the 2 granola bars and you stick them in a food processor and process them. Delish, especially if you add a little bit of coconut in there. Ooh, and then you press that into the bottom. Or pretzels with sugar added to them, pressed into the bottom of dish. Have you guys ever thought of these things? Mind blowing. Okay, next part. We're going to melt our chocolate chips. I know it tells you to put them in a double boiler. We are going to use a microwave in an extremely safe fashion. We're going to put 30 seconds on this, stir them, 30 seconds on it, stir it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to melt it in the microwave, and I'm going to do 30 seconds at a time. So you push time cook, 30 seconds, let 30 seconds go. Meanwhile, while my chips are melting, I'm going to beat the cream cheese, the sugar in a large mixing bowl until creamy and smooth. I'm going to do this by hand. Hey. Edamame. Bernadette, do you think you could just grab whatever we have left for the edamame beans? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cream cheese. You have a pre-portioned? Yes, Manny. Okay, it's okay. Don't open it. It's mine. I'll come and get it. Do you have a question, honey?
Yeah. Are we melting our chocolate chips?
You're gonna melt your own chocolate chips in the way that I'm demonstrating now.
Oh.
Yep. So I've got a pre-sectioned piece of cream cheese here. Each of you should have one on your plates. I'm going to put this into my bowl, and then I don't have my garbage can because and it says that we're gonna cream together our cream cheese and our sugar. It says 10 mils of white sugar, so don't forget, enter any container that we touch that we need to disinfect it. So it says 10 mils, that's gonna be 2 teaspoons of white sugar. So 2 teaspoons of white sugar. Actually, that's a lie, it's 45 mils of white sugar. So now I've done 2, that's 10. And then I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons, and we should be all good in the hood. That's quite a bit of sugar. Okay, so I'm gonna cream those things together. Cream, ooh, it's gonna be good. I just use the same rubber spatula that I use to pack it down so that I'm not using so many tools. Just cream it, cream it, cream it, cream it, cream it. This rubber spatula's, she's on her way out. Okay, while that's sitting, I've got that creamed. I'm gonna just give my chocolate chips a little stir, a little love. Do not expect that they'll be all melted on the first try. I'm thinking that 2 30-second bouts is going to be long enough. It depends on how strong your microwave is. I mean, these are a Costco special, so I'm sure 2 30-second bouts is gonna do us just fine. I'm gonna cream this together. Yeah, that's what I do in my kitchen. So it's nice and creamy, light and fluffy. It looks homogeneous, which means it all looks like one. And then it says blend in your eggs. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna put in my eggs, my sour cream, because Mrs. K measured those things out already for you. That's what's in this plastic container, a half an egg and sour cream. I'm going to put this into my mixture. And it's looking, so eggs are what really hold a cheesecake together. So I've got my egg in there, I've got my cream cheese mixture in there. It also tells me that my sugar is in there. I'm gonna add 2 mils of vanilla while I'm at it. Great. 2 mils of vanilla, and then 10 mils of flour. So you guys should have your flour. Now make sure that you have the 00 flour from yesterday's class when we did the pasta. Make sure you don't use that one. Make sure you do go over to your just regular all-purpose flour and you sanitize that container after. You guys are gonna notice, especially for tomorrow, that I have added vinegar into your pantry. You will need this when we start pastry making. All right, I'm going back to my chocolate chips. Here I go, here I go. Chocolate is the name of the game, and Miss K is happy to be here. Okay, so even if your chocolate chips aren't fully melted, just keep stirring them. Just the conducting of the heat from the cup will eventually melt them. So just keep stirring them until they're all melted. That's fine, they're mostly melted. I'm gonna stir and stir and stir until they're all melted. Then I'm going to use my rubber spatula, scrape them into this container with the rest of my ingredients, fold it in. Then I'm going to evenly proportion it out, and then making sure to fill any empty muffin liners with a little bit of water. So here we go. That looks good. I'm going to take my muffin, my chocolate here, put it into my custard cup. Great, I'm gonna put this over here, and I'm gonna stir this together. So then I should have a nice light chocolatey cheesecake mixture. Now this used about 60 mils of cream cheese today. Now this has eggs in it, so I know there's things called no-bake cheesecakes, but we are baking this cake today, these cheesecakes today at 350 for 15 to 25 minutes, or until it's not like jiggly in the middle. So cheesecake I find is kind of like a quiche or a baked egg dish. We're looking at that middle to make sure it's not jiggly. We want it to be solid-ish. All right, so now I have my beautiful mixture here. It's homogeneous. It all looks like one color. Good job, Mrs. K. And I'm going to spoon it into my liner so that it's nice and even. Just give me a second, Manny.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
Okay, and it looks like I'm probably gonna get 3 little cheesecakes out of this, which is more than enough for a single person. Okay, and then at the end of everything, like don't leave any in the bottom because that's all the delicious goodness. And we all know that our pal Mark back there can crush as many things as he eats. All right, like as many things that he must have a wooden leg. That kid can eat, man. All right, make sure that it's all filled in and that you can't see any of the crust, okay? Now, whenever you put something in the oven, if you have anything on the exterior, try to clean it off. Try to keep it as clean as possible. You can use a paper towel to do this because anything that's sitting on the pan is going to burn. And then now I'm gonna put this in the oven for 15 to 25 minutes until the interior is no longer jiggly. Make sense? Okay, let's have fun and make chocolate cheesecake. Good job, guys.